Hello, and here's my book review of Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. This was the book we read for October 2024 for the Pens and Needles book club. It was just kind of meh to me. It wasn't a great book. I finally finished it. I started it a while ago, and I was reading. I ignored a lot of the parts. I won't even lie, because it was a lot going on. The story, to me, it was a great concept. And it's always a great concept to do a murder mystery in one location, where everyone's all in one location. Everyone's trapped in one location. They can't leave. And then someone has to solve the mystery. That's always a great classic murder mystery concept. However, this one, for a book, was way too busy for me. Way too many characters. I could not keep track of them. And I won't lie, the Australian accent kind of threw me off, because I was trying to really understand that, whenever I'm reading books that have Australian or British accents, depending on how hard the accent is, I didn't have a lot of trouble understanding the Australian accent, but at some points I just kind of zoned out, because I'm like, I'm not into this. But what I will say is the parts that were good were towards the end, when they finally solved the murders that happened. I won't, everybody knows what happened if you read the book. But the last probably 5 or 6 chapters were the best chapters because that's when they brought everything all together. I also was trying to hurry up and finish reading the book, and maybe that's why it was good to me at the end, because I was really listening intently. But yeah, at the end was the best part of the book. The beginning part of the book and the middle part, they all dragged, and they all had these story lines that kind of just, to me, didn't connect. And it was too much explaining of everything. But, yeah, so the story also reminded me of Murder on the Orient Express and Knives Out. Murder on the Orient Express, as we know, Agatha Christie, classic story, murder mystery story. But it also was made into a movie several times, I believe. And then the Knives Out series, which I think is only movies. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. If it was a book first, then correct me if I'm wrong, but I wasn't aware that Knives Out was a book. But Knives Out, the series, as a film. And the reason I'm saying that is because this book, to me, I would prefer it as a movie, as a film. Because then I can see all the characters, I can connect the dots for myself, I can try to figure it out ahead of time for myself, who did it, and then they can reveal it at the end. There was way too many characters to try to figure out. All these people are also writers, and so just trying to keep track of who wrote what and who's, editor and publisher of who and what, that was a lot. What I did appreciate partly is the visual landscape that they provided on the train trip, because it was Australia. They talked about the outback. They talked about different places that I've heard of, in Australian kind of cultural history. But because I'm not from Australia, I could not, I did not know where some of those places were, as opposed to where I'm from here in the United States. I grew up in Ohio, and I'm in Alabama currently. And so I know the landscape of these areas. And if someone was talking about a particular area, I could picture it. Australia, I tried to picture it, and I got a good visual. But because I'm not from there, that was something that I was kind of thrown off by. But this book definitely would be a great movie. And I think it would be, have some humorous moments in it as well with the characters. Particularly the main character, Ernest, I believe, who's the author who wrote the first book that I did not read, that I think is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I did not read that. And I probably won't go back and read it, just based on this experience. And I did audiobook, I will say that. But, yeah. So that's just my quick review on the book. I did finish it. I'm not gonna give it high stars. I would probably give it a 3.0, as far as overall, rating of the book. But it wasn't the worst book I've read, but it wasn't the best book I've read either. And I like a good mystery, but it was just, like I said, it was too busy. Yeah, and it would definitely make a good film. So that's the end of my review for Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. And thank you very much.